quarter scale V8 by rcWizzard. This was my first, or is my first, V8 engine that I got back in 1996 or so, and started using it in quarter scale gravedigger project. And I haven't used it since the last video of it running, which was like 2006, 2007. So it's been sitting around the house on an engine stand, still dirty since the last time I ran it. So I figured, hey, time to clean it up. It's 12 degrees outside, so this is a good project to take on. So I took it all apart. Manifold. Took the oil pan off. And about the only way I could clean this engine up, which is a nitro fuel engine, runs on the nitro fuel, and I tell you, when that stuff sits around for a while, everything gets caked and yucky. So I put it in a bath, put it in a tub, and with a toothbrush, the only way I could clean it up was to use the nitro fuel that powers it. I tried gasoline, mineral spirits, so then I had a bottle laying around, so I figured, hey, I'll use the stuff that got it all gummed up. And it cleaned up pretty good. I mean, the intake manifold was quite dark from the fuel, but it cleaned up quite nicely. So it's kind of neat to see the inner workings of this old engine. Now, if you notice, if you look inside here, underneath the manifold, you see two holes here. Those holes is where the pump is, or the shaft that powers the pump on the side of the carburetor. And there's two of them because if you're a Ford guy, you want the distributor in front of the engine. Here's front of the engine here. And if you're a Chevy guy, you put it this way. There you go. That's all there is to it. Here's the distributor here with the had to make the yellow wires on it to make it stand out. Now I upgraded the valve train not too long after I got it with the roller rocker arms. You see that? They're roller rocker arms, anodized red. And here's the original valve train. These little tiny fingers with just a machined ball on the end. So that was a nice addition. Now the other interesting side of this engine is underneath here. You see all those connecting rods. You see it going around. That is just too cool. Here's put it this way. Here's the exhaust manifold that came with it. Looks realistic enough. But then I created my own, which looks more hot rod, know what I mean? So, now that I've got it all to pieces, it's time to put it back together. Let's see, I'll put this way. Also, one thing I'd like to do is to show you how it compares to the newer version of engine offered by ConleyPrecision.com. Let's move this way. And you've seen this before, but I don't know if you've seen it side by side. So this was the original one, and this is the newer version. Let's see if I can get a better shot of this. So it's a little bit bigger. So now I got to put the engine back together and get her back in her display stand. Although it is a nice piece of wood, but it's kind of boring, don't you think? You know, it's a cool engine, but it's just a piece of wood. I know what I'll do. Yeah, I'll add it to my centerpiece on my dining room table. Yeah, let me show you. But before I do, I had a request from another YouTuber that wanted to see the headlights on. See it in the dark with the headlights on. So I thought, hey, all the videos I do are in the daytime and with the body off sometimes, so I figured, sure, why not? So here's the quarter scale grave digger with the headlights on. Okay, off to the dining room. So into the dining room we go. And here's my centerpiece. Yes, indeed. That looks a lot better, don't you think? V8 powered 5B. Well, not actually powered, but it's sitting in there. And no, I'm not going to get this car running with this engine because there's too much stuff I had to take off the engine to fit it in there, like the transmission and the flywheel and the clutch and the starter motor. Now the 5B has always been my favorite style of RC car, RC buggy, with a narrow chassis, full suspension, roll cage, you know, the round tubular roll cage. In fact, that style goes way back with me in my RC history. Another one of my favorites is the Kyosho Javelin. Yes, indeed. Similar style, you know, A-arm suspension, narrow chassis, wing. I always liked having a buggy with the wing on the back. So I've had that since the mid-80s. I'm the type that I like to have plenty of spare parts. In fact, I had so many spare parts for it, I was able to put together another one. This one has the gold chassis, anodized gold chassis on it. So that's a lot of fun. You know, I think I'll do one more change, one more modification. How about that? Oh yeah. So, thanks for watching. So my other projects are to be continued. Hey hun, What say we go out for dinner tonight, huh?